Thanks for joining me. It's actually kind of late in the day. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's chilly, but it's not cold at all. The sun is shining bright. Makes me very happy. I have so much to be grateful for. You know, one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is that 24 hours a day. We talk about it in many different ways in recovery. Talk about the daily reprieve. We have that daily reprieve. So it's like 24 hours of recovery. You know, somebody's celebrating 10 years or 20 years or whatever. So how did you do it? They always say one day at a time. Well, this 24-hour period that we have is really all we have. So it's important that we make the most of that 24-hour period, especially in recovery, and make it as enjoyable as possible, for that matter. One thing that I try to do, sometimes it's not possible, but within a 24-hour period, get to a meeting. I find that interaction with other people in recovery, that fellowship, super important. Super important. It keeps me from being all up inside my own head. It allows me to talk to other people and hear what they have to say about their recovery. See if I can be of assistance, or they can be of assistance to me. They can share their experience, strength, and hope with me. So that's one of the things that I try to get into my 24-hour period. Another one is talking to God. You know, I have to have that spiritual connection. And any of you guys that have been watching my channel for any length of time know that I get that spiritual connection first thing in the morning. It's not always at the beach, especially when it's freaking cold like it's been. But, you know, I get that spiritual connection. Without that, guess who's in charge? Earl. And life ain't good. Life ain't good when Earl's in charge. So it's important that I get that spiritual connection. I get to a meeting. Those are just two things within a 24-hour period. So with me, it's very important that my head, my heart, and my feet all stay in this day, this 24-hour period. When I start thinking about yesterday and all its regrets and all of its pain and, you know, those times that I was not doing well, that gets me depressed. Or, flip side of the coin, when I think about the future and, oh my gosh, I didn't plan for retirement. What the hell am I going to do? You know, my mother's getting old. Am I going to lose her soon? And, you know, thinking like that, it takes me out of this 24-hour period. When I stay in this 24-hour period, I stay grateful. I stay grateful that I have my mom. My mom's still around. I'm grateful that I have all of my needs provided for. I don't have to worry about tomorrow, and I don't have to have lots of regrets about yesterday. And you know why? Because I'm living in today. That's awesome. That's awesome. You guys have heard me talking about postponing happiness, but don't postpone your happiness. Happiness isn't in tomorrow or, 6 months down the road when you finally land that job that you want, or when you buy that house you've been looking at, or that fancy car or whatever. Those things are nice, but happiness doesn't reside in when those things happen. Happiness resides right here and right now. Happiness does not reside in yesterday, in the good old days, those days when things were really good. That's not where your happiness resides. It resides in today. I think it was Abraham Lincoln that said most folks are as happy as they make up their minds to be. Well, for this 24-hour period, I have made up my mind to be happy. Might as well throw some joyous and free in there too. Life in recovery is fantastic. And I know sometimes I feel like I sound like a salesman or something when I'm talking about recovery. And I guess maybe I kind of am. I don't want to see anybody suffer. I don't want to see anybody go through the things that I've gone through. We say one day at a time. That's a much more manageable amount to stay sober. And not only stay sober, but to stay within that time period. Now, sometimes even 24 hours is too much. Sometimes we just got to stay in this moment or this hour, this minute, this second, whatever it takes to not only stay sober, but to be happy, to enjoy life. Life is passing us by. We don't own that 10 minutes ago, and we don't own 10 minutes from now. We only own this moment. Enjoy it while we can, right? That's so important. So anyway, 24 hours a day, one day at a time, a daily reprieve. When we say the Lord's Prayer, give us this day, our daily bread. Doesn't He give us our daily bread? He always does. God always provides for us. I don't know why I suffer from lack of faith sometimes. I do. I think everyone does. Faith, they say, is like a muscle. You must exercise it. So it's important to stay in this 24-hour period for a number of reasons. You know, if you have something coming in the near future that you're kind of freaked out about, the reason you're freaked out about it is that you're not living in today. You're living in that moment instead. When I first got into recovery, I used to share quite often about the fact that I have this upcoming court date. And every time I'd share, it was about this upcoming court date. Well, finally somebody came up to me after a meeting and said, "Earl, I've noticed you've got this court date coming up and you're really freaked out about it." I said, "Yeah, I am." And he says, "Well, the only issue that I see is that you only have one court date, but you're going to court every single day until the day you go. Do you think that's a good idea?" Let's keep it in today, folks. Let's keep our happiness right here and now, not in yesterday, in the good old days, or in tomorrow when we finally reach some plateau. Happiness doesn't reside in yesterday or tomorrow. Happiness is right here, right now. Enjoy this life. Enjoy this moment. Enjoy being happy, joyous, and free. You guys have a great one, and I'll see you on the next video. Hopefully it's a little sooner this time.